Buckle up, because that is how I read. Hey guys, Holly J here, aka Planet Ginger, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Today we're gonna do a reading vlog. I just kind of felt like doing one. I haven't done one in a little bit. This is just gonna be a reading vlog where I'm gonna take you through like my daily week and how much I can read while I work my 9 to 5. It's probably gonna be a lot of night vlogs because I do normally read at night during the week. It's only gonna be about 4 days because I normally work Monday through Thursday. Today is Monday, so it's the start of the week. I just got off work and am just kind of chilling, just changed, just am getting kind of cozy, comfy, and kind of settling in for the night. Kind of to give you an update on where I'm at reading wise. So I did listen to audiobooks at work today. So I did already get some reading done. If you're one of those people who don't consider audiobooks reading, this video might trigger you. Normally what I do, I'm a little bit chaotic with my reading. I usually have like 1 or 2 audiobooks going at a time, and then I'll have 1 or 2 physical books going at a time. So I kind of have like a wide range of a bunch of things happening all at once. FYI, if that is also going to trigger you, buckle up, because that is how I read. I already did some audiobook listening today while I was at work. Before I even started listening today, I was reading Dragon Rider by Cornelia Funk, and I started off at 25%. And by the end of the day, I am at 68%. Dragon Rider, definitely I'll be probably wrapping that up by tomorrow. While I was at work today, I also got The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand available. So I did get that and I started to listen to some of it. So I'm at 30% now on that book. We got 2 audiobooks going, Dragon Rider and The Hotel Nantucket. My other 2 books that I have going, I guess I only have 1 physical book going right now. That's not right, actually. I just haven't updated my Goodreads. I am currently in the middle of buddy reading Red Rising with my sister. I am quite a bit further ahead than she is. I believe she's still at the beginning. I don't know if she's gotten past like chapter 2 or 3 yet, but I am cruising on it because, oh man, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what I actually think by the time I'm done with Red Rising, because I keep going, ooh, I really like this. This is super interesting and I'm super hooked on this book. And then, ooh, this is kind of too much for me. And then I'm like, oh, but it's so interesting. And then, oh, it's kind of too much. I think that's kind of the gist. I think you're supposed to kind of feel like that while reading it because, I mean, it is kind of the Hunger Games, Divergent, like that dystopian kind of feel, but it's also sci-fi, which is really interesting because I haven't read a sci-fi book in literally forever. That's been interesting. I've been enjoying it though. They're like on Mars in the book. That's very interesting to me. And it actually kind of makes me want to read Project Hail Mary, which I have not read yet. And I haven't even watched the movie because I'm resisting watching the movie until I watch the book, until I read the books. But anyways, so we got a couple different things going on here. I have been a big advocate lately for trying not to buy books. Basically what I've been trying to do is use the trophy method for reading books. So I have been trying to stick to Kindle Unlimited and my Libby app for all of my audiobooks and my reading. And if I really enjoy a book, then I end up getting it as a little trophy at the end. If you haven't watched my library reset and like book unhaul video, go check that out. Why not? But I did just kind of do a major unhaul of books on my bookshelf, and I just am trying to not be so cluttered with stuff. And there were just so many books on my shelves that I knew I was never going to get to. I never was going to read, but I kept like keeping them around because I was like, oh, I really should. Realistically, I'm not going to. And I hate spending money when I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy the thing I'm spending money on. Oh, the other one I did want to add to this, I do kind of have Fever Dream that I'm reading as well right now, but that's more so like if Red Rising is getting to be a little too much, but I still kind of want to keep reading, I open up Fever Dream. It's a book that I do want to read soon, so I just am kind of getting into a couple chapters in it. That is kind of the update for now. I think I'll leave it there for the time being. We got a lot of reading to get done. We'll talk to you guys later. I am getting all cozy up into bed. Abu is already fast asleep over here. Let me move this a little bit closer. I feel like you guys are so far away from me. I just finished the Inkheart trilogy by Cornelia Funk, and I did enjoy it. I really like Inkheart, and it's kind of a nostalgic book for me. I am always gonna love it probably because it has meaning to like my childhood and stuff. But anyways, we're not talking about Inkheart here. We're talking about Dragon Rider, which is also by Cornelia Funk, which is why I brought up Inkheart. Dragon Rider is interesting because it is completely different than Inkheart. It is very fantasy, and it's kind of a fun little like adventure novel, but, and see, this is where it's hard, is I personally am kind of so-so about it, but I actually think that the writing and the world building would be so good for younger kids. I realize that I am much older than the audience that it's actually being written for. I think that that's part of the issue of why I'm not enjoying it as much as I thought, but actually I think that this is a good conversation since I brought up audiobooks before. Some audiobooks I've noticed just don't hit as well as other ones do, and it kind of has to do with the narrator, which is interesting to me because the narrator for Dragon Rider is Brendan Fraser. What's so funny to me about that is he's doing a really good job, but he's adding a lot of sound effects into his narration of the story, and it's actually taking me out of the story because they're so jarring and they're so loud compared to the normal dialogue. I actually feel like I would enjoy Dragon Rider a lot more if I would have read it rather than listened to it, just because every single time he switches characters or like makes some sort of eating noise or like coughing noise or whatever, I feel like I get pulled out of the story rather than being more immersed in it. And that's just a preference thing. That's a me thing. That's not necessarily anything about the story. The story's actually really cute. I love Sorrel. Sorrel is the little brownie in the story, and she's pretty cute and funny. There are some books that I listen to on audio that like I make a mental note to myself that I probably need to reread that as just a normal book. Another one that I noticed this was my mindset on was Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I actually didn't care for that book when I listened to the audio version of it, and I think it has to do with the way the narration was. I think that I would have liked the story a bit better if I could have been in my own head for it and given these characters their own voices and that sort of a thing. Just goes to show you that audiobooks, the narrators can make or break an experience for the reader. That's kind of my opinion on Dragon Rider. I am enjoying the story, but I am kind of ready for it to wrap up. On the flip side, Ellen Hildebrand's The Hotel Nantucket, I'm thoroughly enjoying. There's like a lot going on. I kind of like how the whole town of Nantucket is almost a character in itself, and we're following like multiple different characters through all their little lenses of life in Nantucket, and it's really quite fun so far. I didn't know if Ellen Hildebrand would be for me or not, which is funny to say because I'm a very beachy person. I'm a beachy aesthetic. Everything I do, I mean, clearly, I am a very big beach person. Everyone has told me that they think I would like Ellen Hildebrand books because it's like very summery, beachy vibes. And I don't know if this is just because like this was my thought going into it, but I just always pictured them as such like adult reads, which is so funny because like I am an adult. I am in that era of my life where I would be relating to things like that. I am really hoping to, like I said, finish up Dragon Rider tomorrow and get more of the way into Hotel Nantucket. Those are my two audiobooks I have going on right now. My other book, which I'm about to dive into right this second, is Red Rising. It's a lot more barbaric than I was anticipating, which is funny to me because I don't really know what I was anticipating going into this read. I don't really know. It's not at all how I thought this book would go. I am having a good time so far. I'm really curious to see what I'm going to end up reading this. I'm going to vlog a little bit while I read, but after that, I'm probably just going to shut the camera off and go to bed because I don't trust that I'm not going to fall asleep. I feel like I will. That is my night. Say good night to Abu. Good night. Don't judge me. I promise you it's the next day, but I am still wearing my nightshirt. So you're probably going to be seeing me in this for at least a couple days, if not maybe the week. I don't know. It is Tuesday today. I did not get as much physical reading done yesterday as I would have liked. I was so tired. I definitely was passing out while I was reading, but I did get one chapter accomplished for Red Rising. Let me see what page I'm on actually. I wanted to try to get like at least 30 pages done, if not 50 yesterday, and that definitely did not happen. It's saying I'm on page 163, so I got like maybe 12, 13 pages done. Yeah, 11 pages done. I did finish reading Dragon Rider. I settled on a 2-star rating for that one just because I just really could not get past the narration. I feel like I missed a lot of the things going on because I was just trying to focus so hard on what was actually being said instead of listening to all the sound effects and like other things going on, which is funny because I did read a couple Goodreads reviews that said a similar thing as I was saying. So it's not just me, which made me feel good because I was like, wow, I am so surprised that Brendan Fraser is the narrator for this audiobook and I am disliking it so much. I think that the story had a lot of potential and I would like to maybe pick it up at some point in the future again to like give it an actual physical read through rather than listening to the audiobook, but that's not in the foreseeable future as of right now. It's not something that I'm like dying to pick up and read. Let me tell you on the flip side, reading The Hotel Nantucket has been such a pleasure. I have been thoroughly enjoying that read. I listened to a good portion of The Hotel Nantucket, which I can't remember. I think I was at 30% at the beginning of today, and now I'm at about 75%. So I'm pretty confident I'm going to finish that tomorrow at work. I literally think I have it. This says 3 hours left of the audiobook. So I'm sure I'm going to finish that. I do have Summers at the Saint by Mary Kay Andrews available, and I have A Summer Affair by Ellen Hildebrand available. I think I'm going to listen to Summers at the Saint first. My thought on this is that this Ellen Hildebrand book, A Summer Affair, is going to be a series, like there's 3 books in the series. If I continue to like the Ellen Hildebrand books... Oh, are you coming to bed? Go ahead. Yeah. Anyways, so my thought was to read Summers at the Saint first. I've never read a Mary Kay Andrews book before. I would rather read that and kind of get that out of the way and then continue on with Ellen Hildebrand. I want to try to finish more summary books before the summer ends, and it is way too quickly approaching fall for my liking. I'm trying to get these last summer reads in. I do have a couple other like summary books on hold that are going to be coming within the next week or two, and that is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't really know if that's necessarily like a summer book. I mean, there's like literally surfers and stuff on the cover, and I've heard it's like sort of summery, but it's like kind of drama. I don't know. I've never read a Taylor Jenkins Reid. Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, and then I also have book 2 in the Ellen Hildebrand series, which is The Castaways. So I would listen to that after listening to, what's the one that I already have? A Summer Affair. I am so glad that I actually started Ellen Hildebrand this summer because I have wanted to dive into some of her books for the past several summers and I've never gotten around to them. This is one thing I really do enjoy about picking up audiobooks. I used to be the type of person where I couldn't sit and listen to an audiobook because I just couldn't focus myself that way to like listen to what was being said. Like I have to like visualize it and look at it. I have grown to the point, especially like with my job, like it's kind of nice to be able to listen to something while I'm working, and it ends up working out really well for me because I actually feel like I'm going through books more at a speed that I want to rather than having to make the time to sit down and actually physically read it. I can do other tasks while I'm listening to the audiobook. Game changer for me. I can definitely accomplish more of my reading goals this way, which is really nice. I am thinking that I'm gonna just try to read more of Red Rising. I would really like to get to the 200 page mark by the end of today. We'll see if that happens or not. I do need to write something before the end of the night. I am in the middle of a 30-day writing streak right now that I'm trying to accomplish for myself and my novel that I'm working on. I'm on like day 20, I want to say it's 23. I have to check my computer. I can't lose the streak now. So I need to go write something. It can be a couple words for all I care, and then I can read Red Rising and go to bed. So that is what my night is going to look like. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. So I fell asleep last night while reading. All I remember is waking up at like probably 2 a.m. and my Kindle was like, for me personally, I love the feeling of like waking up and being like, oh my gosh, I fell asleep while reading. I don't know why. I feel like I get such good sleep when I fall asleep while reading. I wanted to finish this chapter, did not get to finish it. I had started chapter 23 of Red Rising last night, so I made it to page 176. So obviously I'll be finishing that tonight. I just got back from work, went to the nail salon, and got a lot of listening to audiobooks done today, just to kind of catch you guys up on that. I finished The Hotel Nantucket. That was so cute. I actually really ended up liking that story, and I definitely am going to be continuing listening to other Ellen Hildebrand books. They're a really fun, like, summer vibe. I want a couple more easy reads like that, or easy listens, before the summer ends. Summer's at the Saint by Mary Kate Andrews is what I'm currently listening to, so I got 15% of the way through that. And on top of that, I listened to a little bit of Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb, and I did want to get some of that done. I've kind of been listening to that on and off. It's a little bit of a denser read, so I really have to be focused when I'm listening to it. So I like to have another lighter thing that I'm listening to while getting that done. So I was at 12% of the Assassin's Quest before today. Ending today, I'm going to be at 26% complete. 12 to 26, that's like 14%. Got some decent listens today. I probably will not be listening to any more audiobooks for the rest of today, but I will be reading hopefully more of Red Rising since the Mariners game is going to be on here in a few minutes. We beat the LA Dodgers last night. It was a great game. Every time we play the Dodgers, I'm just like, yikes, are we going to get smoked or what? But we won last night, and it was a very good game, very good morale boost for our team, and hopefully today we get another win. We'll see. I do want to bring my Kindle probably out while I'm watching the game and just reading it during breaks. I do have to post a TikTok today. Yesterday I did not post a TikTok, which I've been trying to post every single day, and I did not do it yesterday. It is so freaking exhausting trying to work your normal job and then make content, and then I'm also writing a novel, so making time for writing and then doing all this reading. I have too many things going on, too many hobbies, and then plus, like, I do like gaming too, which I've gotten back into Disney Dreamlight Valley again lately, and so I've been kind of trying to grind on there again. Too many things and not enough time to do them all. Anywho, that is the update for the moment here. We'll probably talk to you guys a little later into the night. I am currently uploading my TikTok for the day. I keep underestimating how tired I'll be by the time the Mariners game ends. Here I am, getting into bed, and luckily I did pre-record some TikToks already for the week, so instead of filming something, I am literally just posting one of the things that I've already filmed. I do still have to write. I'm tempted to just write a couple sentences on my phone and transfer it to my computer tomorrow. It is currently 9:56 right now, and I have been extremely tired today, so I don't trust myself to get a ton of reading done if I sit here and spend more time doing things that are not reading. I was able to do a little bit of reading during the game. We lost, by the way, in case you were wondering. I'm currently on page 184 in Red Rising, so I think I got like roughly 10-ish pages maybe read during the game. I finished up a chapter and then I got a full chapter done, so I would like to maybe get to page 200 by the end of the night, which I think is doable. Okay, my TikTok just posted, so that's done. I think that's my plan for the rest of the night. Hunker down, get some reading done. I'm gonna write a couple sentences on my phone just to keep my reading streak going, and call it a night. It is currently Thursday night, which is my Friday, so we made it through the work week. Little applause there for that. I definitely have been a little bit tired this week, and I think it's from doing a lot. after I get off work. So like I do need to get a better routine for filming TikTok content and having it just like scheduled kind of to go out during the week, so then I don't really have to worry about posting it every day. Plus I'm doing my writing streak, my 30-day writing streak that I'm trying to maintain. So it's just been like a lot. I feel like I'm constantly on my computer. Like I get off work and I'm just on my computer doing more work after getting off of work, which is fine. It's all good stuff and it's all things that like I want to be doing and working towards, but it just like ends up being a lot, and it ends up with me usually falling asleep while reading. Let me update you on my reading for the day. What did I do? What did I even read? What did I even listen to? I don't even know. I finished up on my listening hours on Spotify, which got me to about the 30% mark of Assassin's Quest. I definitely wanted to use up my listening hours for the month on Assassin's Quest because I know that that's like a 38-hour audiobook. And in order for me to get most of the way through that without refilling my hours, I kind of wanted to start listening to most of it on the cusp of a month so that I could, you know, just like renew my audio hours like right off the bat. So today I wanted to max that out and get through all the audiobook hours that I could today, and that's what I did. So I got about to the 30% mark. I don't know exactly how much I got because it didn't let me click back in to see what my percentage was that I actually accomplished through my reading. So about the 30% mark, and I started off at about 12%. So, you know, roughly 18-ish percent I got done on the Assassin's Quest. On top of that, I listened to quite a bit of Summers at the Saint by Mary Kate Andrews, and I got 62% of the way through that. So I have about 6 hours left of that book. Summers at the Saint is cute so far, but I will say coming off of reading The Hotel Nantucket, it feels like a similar story, but I was definitely more captivated by The Hotel Nantucket than I am by this story. The story is a little weird. I thought I knew what kind of a story it was going to be, and then it ended up not being that, and now it's almost like a mystery, which I just wasn't really prepared for. It's not that I don't like it, but it just like it feels a little disjointed. Still a good read, like I'm still interested in it and stuff. I've enjoyed The Hotel Nantucket better, and I'm kind of excited to dive into more Ellen Hilderbrand. Once I finish up Summers at the Saint, I'm gonna dive back into Ellen Hilderbrand and pick up not the Castaways, not yet, that's book 2. I'm gonna pick up Summer Affair. That's kind of audiobook wise what we're looking at. I can't wait to dive back into Assassin's Quest because that has been very enjoyable. I've been kind of getting back into a fantasy mood lately. I've been on kind of this summer romance binge, and so I've been doing a lot of like fiction and romances, but I'm really feeling like getting back into fantasy. Assassin's Quest is kind of satisfying that craving for fantasy that I've been feeling, and I've been really enjoying that read. I just really enjoy the characters that Robin Hobb has created. I just want to know so much more about her world, so I'm really excited to be done with the Farseer trilogy and move on to the Live Ship Traders. As far as my understanding, it follows totally different set of characters, but it's going to dive deeper into the lore of her world that she's created. Her books so far have been really fun to read and really different. You know, they're not romantasy, they're straight fantasy, and it's been kind of refreshing. I feel like there's been this like influx on Book Talk that I'm seeing of people being like really tired of romantasy. I hate to say I agree, but like I do kind of agree. I think that a lot of tropes are just being like really regurgitated, and there's such this like sell mindset in the book community right now, which I don't necessarily like. Anyways, that's a whole other conversation. I've been really enjoying Robin Hobb's series so far. It is a bit on the slower side, so don't be expecting to pick these books up and just be like, oh my gosh, edge of your seat the entire time. It's not really like that. It fits her story to be slower pace, and I think that it builds credibility and it builds momentum having it be everything be slower. It's giving more like old school fantasy vibes, which I enjoy. That's my little tangent on Assassin's Quest, which is the last book in the Farseer trilogy. And then last but not least, let's talk about Red Rising. I literally feel like every single time I go to talk about Red Rising, I have a totally different opinion on it. Every chapter I read, I feel like I have a different opinion. I just really don't know, which is crazy because I'm over 50% of the way through and I still just really don't know how I feel about this book. I am currently on page 214. Last night, I did end up getting to page 207, which was good. That was my goal last night. I think when I get done with Red Rising, I'm gonna have to let it sit for a minute and really think about, did I like this or did I not? As of right this minute, which my Kindle's telling me I'm at 53% of the way through, I really don't know if I'm gonna continue the series or not. We'll have to see. I really just don't know. Since it is my Friday, I like to get a little bit of gaming in on my Thursday nights. Kind of just decompress from the week. So I am going to log into, I think, Wizard 101. Yes, I still play that. Play for a little bit and then get into bed and read some more of Red Rising. I would really like to get to page 250. I'd like to get to chapter 33, which is page 258, but if I get to chapter 32 at page 246, that would be okay too. I really want to get most of the way through Red Rising because I'd really like to start a new book. I currently have This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me on hold, and I'm really hoping that that will come to me soon so that I can start reading that right after Red Rising. If I don't get it in time, I can always start Fever Dream by Elsie Silver. And that's where I'm gonna end this update. That was enough yapping. I'm gonna game, I'm gonna read, and I'm gonna go to bed. Good night. All right, let's go over a little recap of the week because we're done. A full week of reading and vlogging, mind you. So pat myself on the back for that one. We actually got a decent amount of reading done this week, which I would say I got more listening done this week than I normally do, but I got less reading done this week than I normally would. Red Rising, at the start of Monday, I was at page 152, which is roughly 37%. And by the end of the work week, I am at page 239, which is 59%. What I listened to this week, I finished up Dragon Rider, which we started at 25% on Monday and finished it. I also finished The Hotel Nantucket, and I read about 62% of Summers at the Saint. Assassin's Quest, I'm at about 30% in total in the book right now, which means I read about 18% this week. This all being said, I basically completed 2 audiobooks this week and like half of one, I would say. I'm not really counting Assassin's Quest in these numbers. That's a pretty large book, and I did listen to as much as I could of it, but there was no possibility of me finishing it because I need my Spotify hours to renew. Little bit more than 2.5 books, but basically 2.5 books I read or listened to this week on audio. I will say these books were all shorter books. They were only about 8 to 9 hours. Summers at the Saint was a little bit longer. That one was about 15 hours, and obviously Assassin's Quest is like 38 hours, so that one's really long. Red Rising, I did not even read 100 pages, which is kind of crazy for me because usually I'm reading about 50 pages a night. 50 pages of Red Rising takes me longer to read than 50 pages of, like, say, a romance book or another romantasy or something like that. Red Rising is a little complex. Everything is so made up. And so there's a lot of terms that, like, take me a minute to understand what they're saying, and a lot of dialogue and slang that people are saying that, like, takes me a minute to register in my brain. It's not really a casual read. Like, you kind of have to be paying attention to what you're reading. And so that generally takes me a little longer to read those types of books. So it kind of doesn't surprise me that I didn't even read 100 pages this week during the work week. But still, I mean, we got a good chunk of the way through it. Red Rising is on the shorter end of pages anyway. The total of the book, I think, is only like 380 some pages. Overall, I'm pretty content with my numbers for this week. Obviously, I'm going to be reading more over the weekend, and technically it's still the work week for most people. It's just I don't work on Friday, so this is the wrap up of my work week. But I will be getting some more reading done today. I've already listened to more of Summers at the Saint today that I did not include in my totals here. Don't worry. Hopefully I'll be finishing that up today, and I would really like to finish Red Rising by the time the weekend's over. That's kind of my goal. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this style of vlog. If you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up below, and please subscribe if you haven't already. So I hope to see you on one of my next videos. Bye bye.